catch me if I fall.
Good evening and welcome to Premier League Live. The fight for the title is on, and we start with Game 1 tonight as Arsenal's trip to Sheffield United on the Monday Night Football at Bramall Lane. Bottom of the league Sheffield United, who have all but been cursed back to the Championship, face a side who are looking for the heights of English football. Arsenal looking for their first Premier League title in 20 years, and they will do a lot to try and get closer to that tonight. Arsenal sit in third this evening and want to push themselves a lot closer to the top two ahead of the top two matchup on Sunday. Let's have a look at tonight's teams, and we start with the home side, Sheffield United, who we think are starting with a back four this evening. Gribbage starts in goal, a back four of Jadon Bogle, Anel Ahmedhodzic as the captain at centre-back, alongside Austin Trusty and Jack Robinson make up the back four. Ollie Norwood, Vinicius Souza, Tom Davis and Gus Hammer make up what we think is a midfield four, but can be a five, with James McAtee dropping in as well, and a centre forward in Ollie McBurney. He's been a real cool customer for Chris Wilder in previous Premier League appearances. Tonight he'll want to do the business again. Interesting enough, Ben Burton Diaz, who joined Sheffield United in January, is on the bench tonight. For Arsenal, and the Gunners start with David Raya in goal, a back four of Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel and Jakub Kivior in defence, a midfield of Jorginho, Declan Rice and captain Martin Odegaard, with a front three of Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli and Kai Havertz named in an unchanged Arsenal side. On the bench this evening, they've got some firepower in Trossard, Nelson and Nketiah and Jesus, but one key focus will be that of the return of Thomas Partey on the bench tonight. Key targets for both of these teams. Well, Sheffield United want that hope of safety. Long way away for that. Arsenal want a hope of a title, which is a lot closer than initially thought. These two teams battling out for much needed points. Kick-off is next. Good evening and welcome to LFS this evening for a clash between two sides very desperately needing points at very different ends of the Premier League table. Sheffield United, as I said, bottom of the league and hoping for any sort of hope to keep them in the Premier League this season. Arsenal, they want to close the gap to the top two. Both have won this weekend in their different games, one in a Manchester derby and one in a 99th minute winner. Both winning to keep their title hopes alive in Liverpool and Man City. And Arsenal want to respond to that. Just to let you know, by the way, yesterday, commentating on that Manchester derby took a real toll on my voice. So I'm going to go a bit easier on the commentary tonight, but it will be as exciting as always. And I'm expecting an exciting game here in the Midlands, in Sheffield, as Declan Rice gets us underway. Sheffield United in their red and white shirts with black shorts. Arsenal in their luminous yellow-green shirts with black shorts. Arsenal in that away kit that we know so common this season. Sheffield United tonight, of course. I mean, it's not an expectation that Sheffield United are going to get anything out of this game. It's expected Arsenal will come here, perform well and win, and probably in most occasions win comfortably. And that is the expectation coming into this one, considering not only Sheffield United's home form, but Arsenal's away form, and also Arsenal's form in 2024, full stop. They've won 6 of 6 in the new calendar year, and they want to make it 7 out of 7 here this evening. We'll see if Mikel Arteta's side can do that. Of course, they've got two very tough challengers in Liverpool and Manchester City above them at the moment. But if all things go well, Arsenal could have a chance going top, and here they have a chance in the box. Saka off the crossbar. Follow-up is saved off the line. Goodness me. What a start for the Gunners. Saka off the crossbar. The follow-up. A big save by Gribic as the ball comes in again, headed away by Ahmed Odzic. But a good start for the visiting side. Here's Havertz working well in that box again, but battled, and there will be a pause in play here for the moment as there is a player down for Arsenal. It is their captain, Martin Odegaard. We're just going to see this chance again, and Saka takes it on the right hand side, plays it in field. Lovely 1-2 with Jorginho. He plays it in, gets it back to Rice. Rice takes a shot, takes a deflection. Saka kind of responds quickly to the bouncing ball, fires it with his left, hits the crossbar, and then the follow-up bounces back out to Martinelli, and he hits it straight at Gribic's feet, who makes a reactionary save off the line to deny Martinelli a real cool-class, skilled goal. But goodness me, two very good opportunities for Arsenal early on. One off the crossbar and the other off the line. Very, very close. And of course, Sheffield United, not uncommon that they concede a lot of goals here at home. They have an awful record at home conceding this season. Conceded 36 goals at home. That is the most of any Premier League side this season. But here they come on the attack as the ball in early. Not cleared away. Gabriel done well though on the follow-up, as Saliba struggled to clear it first time round. Gabriel helped him out. Here is Saliba. Jorginho. But that will be the counter-attacking idea that Sheffield United will want to approach. Will want to come into this game feeling that that's their hope, that's their chance. Breaking down in the wide areas and using the pace on the counter-attack to beat a side where they know will dominate possession, they know will control the play, and will know that will try and press high and push them back into their own into their own defensive third. It's Gabriel. Ball down the left-hand side. Martinelli back in field. Arsenal playing it quick. Across to Saliba, across to Saka. Waiting for White on the overlap, but Odegaard made the run in, and here's White to play it across, and Havertz couldn't reach in the middle. Inches away from him, but Martinelli picks it up on the left. Jorginho. Gabriel. Kivior back to Gabriel. So those wide areas, nice intricate play again from Arsenal. Here's Rice. Falls to Odegaard. And there's the first. A ruthless start from the Gunners. And their captain finds the back of the net within 5 minutes. Sheffield United's kind of defensive structure has fallen apart at the first hurdle. And Martin Odegaard the beneficiary. Again, it's good movement, intricate football. They don't force things, Arsenal. Gabriel plays the nice, clever ball to Jorginho. Lovely link up between Martinelli and Rice on that left-hand side. Lovely 1-2. Rice makes the run to the byline, gets the cut back, and incoming, in running, was their captain Martin Odegaard to just side foot it with his left and into the back of the Sheffield United net. And that is an almost ideal start for Mikel Arteta's Gunners. And any hope of really Sheffield United stifling this Arsenal team have come to a very, very early end. and not really a surprise, being honest. As I said, they do like to concede early, Sheffield United. The stat before the game, it was main focus, and I know it's a long way from that yet. The free kick's taken early, and Havertz comes, and the flag stays down. He was onside there from that free kick. Sheffield United a bit caught lacking at the back there, but they did see it away. Jorginho. Martinelli. Gabriel. Martinelli again. Nice 1-2 football. Quick passing. Lovely from Arsenal. Down the middle. As well cut out there by Sheffield United, and Davis trying to get them on the front foot. But didn't last very long as they're back with Ahmed Hodzic. And giving it back to his keeper Gribic. That'll be another kind of key aspect of Arsenal, really, is their counter-pressing. You know, they're really, really good at pressing really high and not allowing the opposition time and space on the ball. It's such a kind of laser-focused press, and it's really kind of fascinating to watch. And they've just won the ball back because they forced Sheffield United to go long. Saka. Down the right-hand side, using his pace, getting to the byline, look for the cross. Blocked off that time by Trusty. And that goes out for an Arsenal corner. Another aspect of Arsenal's strengths this season is their set pieces. They certainly know how to put the ball in the back of the net from corners, at the very least. They're playing a lot of bodies right at the far post here, Arsenal. A lot of bodies there. They're the most set-piece goals this season, Arsenal. 19. Second to that, Everton with 15. So well clear in terms of set-piece goals this season. Odegaard over to take the corner. Right-hand side, left-footed. Goes short to Saka. Saka. Infield to Odegaard. Odegaard trying to work the angle. Goes with his... Going for his right, then cuts on his left. And takes this shot, but goes wide of the left-hand post for a goal kick. I think he's been watching Phil Foden highlights from yesterday. Martin Odegaard cutting inside and going for that top left corner. Just not as accurate as the young Englishman was yesterday. Saw some cracking goals in that Manchester derby yesterday. Two very good goals. One from each team. But I mean, the question really remains, you know, coming into this one, Sheffield United would have been hoping and praying that they could get any sort of thing out of this game. And they knew. I mean, Sheffield United fans are not naive and stupid. They knew that coming into this game, it was going to be one of the toughest tasks to get anything out of this one. You know, games like this are not the reason Sheffield United are in the position they're in. At bottom of the table. Losing to Arsenal, or, you know, being beaten by the bigger teams is not what Sheffield United are going to be concerned about, or their fans are going to be annoyed at. It's those other games where they have failed to get results from. And that's where the concerns will be. Now, of course, losing big at home is not something anybody wants either. You know, they've lost by 5 goals a couple of times this season, both home and away. They lost 8-0 here against Newcastle earlier in the season. So they have lost massively at home this season. I mean, their last 2 home results, as I was saying, the stat that I was looking at before the game, no side has ever, in English football, lost 3 successive home games by conceding 5 or more goals. Sheffield United, if they concede 5 or more tonight, will be the first team to ever do that. Arsenal, if they score 5 or more tonight, will be the first team ever in English football to score 5 or more away from home in successive games. 3 successive games. Here's Saka! Bodies on the line from Sheffield United there, and they clear their lines. With a ball from Odegaard into the box again. It's just beautiful from Arsenal. Really good. And Odegaard absolutely crucial to this team. I mean, it goes without saying. about Martin Odegaard, how special he is of a player for Arsenal, how crucial he is in the way they play. You know, we talk about the defensive midfielder being the kind of architect of a football match, seeing everything in front of them and picking passes. That is what Odegaard is, but in a more advanced role for Arsenal. Although that was a poor ball by Kivior on the left, got a bit too complacent there, and the Arsenal left back and put it straight out of play for a Sheffield United throw-in. But the ball from Odegaard to find Martinelli, and then Martinelli just fizzes it across the edge of the 18-yard box. Saka takes a touch with his left, tries to unleash a shot with the same foot, and Sheffield United do get bodies on the line to block it. But again, it's that idea of, you know, there's no waiting around for Arsenal, and that's what I love about them. You know, people will say, you know, Manchester City play the best football in the Premier League, and sometimes it's really hard to kind of argue, but I kind of go more of Arsenal at times. They do have a lot of Pep-coded kind of ideals. You know, Arteta loves to go for kind of the dominating possession, the controlling the ball, to suffocate the opposition with the passing that you have. But at times it's just really nice football. It's not just about controlling the ball, it's all about Arsenal's pace on the break, and their creativity and their initiative in attacking areas is what I love about them. When something isn't kind of scripted, how they deal with that situation, that's what I see in one of the best teams. And what you see in the best teams is when it isn't going to plan, or when it isn't kind of exactly what the manager planned out for you, how you adapt to that in-game and how you kind of still get a winning formula out of it. That's how you see one of the best sides do it. Here's Saka, gets to the byline, cuts it across, and it's an own goal. My goodness me. More dreadful defending from Sheffield United. They're that far into their own 6-yard box. There's about 6 of them in their own 6-yard box. The ball just comes across from Saka, and it's bound to hit one of the players in there. You're that deep that it's just impossible for not to hit you. And it's an own goal. I have no idea who it's come off, but I'll say it again. It's again a move down the right-hand side. Simple as you like. I mean, Ben White plays it straight out to Saka. Saka again takes on his man, gets to the byline, chops it back, waiting for anyone in there in the middle, and it ends up coming off a Sheffield United shirt, a Sheffield United body. See it here. Who is that? Jaden Bogle, I think it is. It is. Bogle chops it back, and they're so deep. I mean, Sheffield United, you're literally on your own goal line. What are you doing? Shocking. Absolutely shocking. I mean, credit to Arsenal. They've absolutely destroyed them so far. I mean, Sheffield United haven't got out of their own defensive third in the first 12 minutes, but, I mean, it's just shocking. I mean, they're on course to be the worst side defensively we've ever seen in the Premier League. And this doesn't help. You know, this does not help the situation whatsoever. 2-0 down inside 13 minutes. This could be a cricket score, and here they come again. Martinelli. Kivior. Martinelli! Deflection and in! There we are. It might be a cricket score. 3-0. Every time Arsenal come forward, you just think it's going to go into the back of the net. And so far, it has. Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 3. Chris Wilder bemused and shocked and all the words you can use. But they can't be shocked at themselves. This has been them all season. It's not a surprise that Sheffield United are defending like this. It's one ball up the pitch. I mean, look at the space, the lack of intent to get bodies back. And when they do get bodies back, they're all in the way. No one engaging. And the strike from Martinelli is lovely. But it's just shocking again. I mean, far too easy. It does take a deflection, the goal, to be fair. But at the same time, it's just, it looks like it's schoolboy defending. And that's offensive to schoolboy defending, because it's probably worse than that. Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 3. And we've played 15 minutes inside Bramall Lane this evening. if we continue at this rate, it would be a cricket score. There was a quick VAR check, by the way, on that goal, but it has been quickly confirmed and ratified, I think. Sam Barrett, the referee, just awaiting on the confirmation from the VAR, and the decision is confirmed. And this is even more bleak. Sheffield United are making an early change, and it's going to be Ollie Norwood in the midfield. Is going to come off for Ben Osborne. So that back four idea that Sheffield United wanted to come into this game has absolutely blasted them back in the face, and they've gone to a back five. I mean, I don't blame them. And now they're leaving. I mean, there's fans leaving after 16 minutes. I mean, genuinely, I have not seen anything this bad. You know, we look at Premier League sides. I mean, the record for the most goals conceded in a 38-game season in the Premier League is 89 goals by Derby County. In that awful season where I think they got the least points ever in Premier League history that season as well. Sheffield United, as it stands, are on course to obliterate that. At the start of play this evening, I measured it this evening. If they continue conceding at the rate that they have all season, average out over a season, Sheffield United will concede 96 goals. This will make it even worse because they're in behind again, Arsenal. They do get ahead to it, luckily for Sheffield United, but Havertz was in there. But there we are. I mean, this is a free score on Arsenal's side, who have been absolutely excellent since the turn of the year. All the talk at the end of 2023 was how Arsenal couldn't find the back of the net and how they were struggling to find the back of the net. And then turn into 2024 and it's completely the opposite. They can't stop putting the ball in the back of the net. They're absolutely wonderful since the turn of the year. And the crucial thing is they're not only scoring goals, they're stopping them as well. I think they've conceded 3 goals in their 6 Premier League games this calendar year, which is quite remarkable. I mean, it's not out of the ordinary for a side like Arsenal, the performing at the level that Arsenal are, but it's also, you know, it's a great kind of stat to look at. I mean, I haven't had a minute to analyse this game at all because it's just been goals. And I mean, look, we'll see how Sheffield United defend now, adding an extra man to the back line, and how that affects the way Arsenal play. But, I mean, it was a shock when the team news came out, and I looked at it and went, are they sure they're playing a back four? And I looked at it and I counted the numbers, and I was like, there are 4 out-and-out defensive players on the field. They have to be playing a back four. Because they're not going to play a wing-back, because who's going to play wing-back on the left-hand side? If that's the idea of Bogle on the right, who's going to play wing-back on the left? So it was always going to be a back four, but it didn't work. Hasn't worked. I mean, they've been so easily exploited in those areas, but they're coming on the attack now, Sheffield United. McAtee! Awful shot in the end. From distance, well wide, which gets a cheer from the away crowd in that far end. The Arsenal fans happy as can be at this minute in time. 3-0 up, and a blasted one by James McAtee. A blasted almost closer to the corner flag than the back of the net. But as I was saying, for Arsenal recently, they've conceded 3 goals in their 6 Premier League games this calendar year. 1 against Forest, 1 against Liverpool, and 1 against Newcastle. They've kept clean sheets in their other wins, which, in keeping those clean sheets, they've scored 5 or more goals in all 3. 5-0 against Palace, 6-0 against West Ham, and 5-0 against Burnley. So, when they do keep a clean sheet, Arsenal, they're ruthless at the other end of the pitch. It's the perfect combination. And I have to say, God help any team that's coming up against Arsenal in the next couple of weeks, because no one is stopping them. The only team that stopped them this calendar year is Porto in the Champions League. And credit to Porto on that night. They were so amazing defensively, but Arsenal were off it that night, to say the very least. Didn't have a shot on target in that game, Arsenal. They're saving their goals for the Premier League. and they've got them in abundance in the league. Here's Rice! Has a good save from Grbic. Nice blasted shot there from Rice at the edge of the box. Well on target. Scored in the 6-0 win over West Ham earlier, a couple of weeks ago. Wanted to add to that one by getting a shot on target there, and he wasn't far away. It was a good save by Ivo Grbic. Throw in on the left hand side for Arsenal. Long throw into the box, half cleared by Sheffield United, but Odegaard onto it. Saliba to White. Saka. Odegaard. Here's Gabriel. Down the left hand side is Martinelli. Back to Kivior. Saliba now. White. Gabriel finds Martinelli. Right-footed delivery in. Looking for Saka at the back post, half cleared. Still alive, Havertz with it. Straight into the hands of Grbic. In the Sheffield United goal. Again, I mean, even though they have an extra man at the back, there was still a free man for Arsenal in the box, and that was Bukayo Saka at the back post. They had 3 bodies, Sheffield United, around 1 player. Fascinating defending that. That's what I mean. It's like the defending's kind of chaotic. Sheffield United win a free kick there. James McAtee fouled. But there's no. It seems like there's no kind of logic to the madness of the Sheffield United defending at the minute. There's no method to it. That's the saying. Method to the madness, not logic. Same thing. There's no method to the madness. It just seems like they're just throwing bodies anywhere and hoping that they can get a block on the ball. That's the way it looks to me. We do have a free kick though, which will relieve that pressure on their defence. Left-footed delivery, far too low, and Arsenal get it cleared at the first time of asking, but the rebound will bounce out to Ben Osborne, the substitute, who came on for Ollie Norwood about 10 minutes ago now. Less than that probably. 7 or 8 minutes ago. Although Saka trying to link up with Odegaard, just slightly misplaced the ball, but Rice with a lovely press. Odegaard trying to back pass it. And then the challenge from Rice coming in on Tom Davis. Gets Sheffield United a free kick. And we'll show you how the Premier League table stands in a moment or two. As we said, the title race rings on, and the top 3, very little to separate them at this moment in time. Here's Ollie McBurney though for Sheffield United, pushed back into his own half, forced to pass it back to his centre-back, who gets all muddled up himself, and Arsenal are in again. Here comes Havertz, 4-0. Punished again. Ahmed Hodzic struggled to get control on that ball, and he was punished duly for it. And Sheffield United go from bad to worse. And Sam Barrett is now being talked to. The referee is being told by the Sheffield United players that they wanted a foul, but that's not a foul. Very far from it. And hordes of fans of Sheffield United perspective leaving Bramall Lane in their droves as Arsenal extend their lead even further. But again, it's their own fault. I mean, Ollie McBurney playing it back to his centre-back who's under pressure, and Ahmed Hodzic tries to spin away, gets all muddled, he loses the possession, and, I mean, he's pressed by Havertz. Why you pass him back to him? He wins it, then he loses to Martinelli, and then Havertz running through, picks up the loose ball, and just does all the rest. Lovely slotted finish to the far post. Fantastic. It is going from bad to worse for Sheffield United, to say the very least. And is it a shock that I that a lot of people, including myself, were expecting a result similar to this coming into this one. This is not a shock at this stage that Arsenal are 4-0 up. It's not a shock. I'm not surprised whatsoever, although Sheffield United have found a bit of space and they're in themselves. But that's a big save by Raya, but he was in an offside position nonetheless there. Gus Hammer. And it didn't matter anyway. It was saved by Raya, but it was offside nonetheless. I have to say, this is a new low. I mean, I would love to know. I mean, we look back at Sheffield United's recent home games. Brighton, they lost 5-0 to Brighton. They were only 2-0 down at half-time. Fair play to them. They kept that one low, but here it could be more than 4. The ball in from Saka is cleared away by a few Sheffield United bodies. Against Villa, they were 4-0 down at half-time. They ended up going to lose that one 5-0 with 1 goal in the second half, but 4 goals within 30 minutes in the Villa game. It's already come within 25 minutes here that Arsenal are 5 up. We go back to their 8-0 defeat here against Newcastle earlier in the season. That's the one I wanted to keep to kind of look at. If this game continues the way it has, Arsenal will beat that. They were only 3-0 down at half-time against Newcastle here. 3-0 the scoreline was at half-time. 4-0 against Villa at half-time. 2-0 against Brighton, and in all those games they conceded 5 or more goals in those home games. They're 4-0 down at the moment, and we've still another 17 minutes of this first half to go. I mean, Arsenal have been great. They've just been doing their jobs. Sheffield United have played ideally into their hands time and time again. And they're putting themselves into trouble. I mean, 2 of the goals, Sheffield United can only blame themselves. One, the second goal for Arsenal, they were so deep on their own in their own 6-yard box. I mean, what did you expect to happen? If Arsenal put a cross in, what did you expect? There was nowhere enough room, even if the ball had hit you and you clear it, there was nowhere enough room to clear it over the bar, so you were just going to hit it into your own net. And then the fourth one was just self-inflicted passing, weak pass to a player under pressure, couldn't control it, understandably so. He was under pressure, and they get caught out from it. And that's a good challenge. Probably a necessary challenge from Jayden Bogle. But I think this is more of a humiliating yellow card rather than a yellow card that could get the crowd going if there's anybody left. Jayden Bogle in the book for that challenge on Martin Odegaard, which is a crunching challenge. Come flying in. No attempt to win the ball, of course. I think that's frustration showing for Jayden Bogle. Most certainly. That's his 8th yellow card of the season. It's not the first time he's done this. Remember, actually, in the game that Brighton did win 5-0 here, Sheffield United went down to 10 within about 10 minutes in that one. Mason Holgate sent off in that one. Remember, they do have 11 men on the pitch, Sheffield United, at this moment in time. Declan Rice to take the free kick for Arsenal on the left-hand side. Right-footed, low delivery. Headed away by Bogle at the first time of asking at the front post, and out for an Arsenal throw. And Arsenal have it back again. 30 minutes gone. Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 4. Just to remind you, by the way, I do apologise. My throat is not in its best condition tonight. So I am sipping on some hot drinks to keep me not well lubricated, that's a weird word. Well, kind of Not allowing my throat to dry up, basically. Free kick there on Ollie McBurney. And coming into this one, I mean, we looked at the. I was looking at the Opta stats. You know, Opta, the main stats provider of the Premier League, and gives a lot of kind of stats to Premier League football and talks about and gives key details. It's where the Premier League get most of their stats from. Opta, who are one of the most well-renowned stats gathering organisations in the world, and I was looking at those predictions, and their predictor is very, very good, considering Sheffield United have a 0.7% chance of safety this season. That's the stat that I read coming into the game tonight. 0.7% chance of safety. Not that I'm shocked by that because of the position they're in. The same with Burnley. I think Burnley have 0.7 or 0.8% chance. So both have less than 1% chance of safety this season. And that's not a shock, considering the fact of where we are. Where we are in the season. How many little games to go. And the performances that they're putting into games. It's not a shock. I also looked at their simulation and what they think in terms of title-winning form. Arsenal's chances of winning the title, according to Opta, is 13.6%. Liverpool's is 36.1%, and City's is 50.3%. So City's still out-and-out favourites to win the league. Liverpool's second favourites, and Arsenal certainly third favourites at the moment. No one else is anywhere near that conversation, obviously. Not a surprise. But as I'm saying, looking at Sheffield United, it's actually, as it stands at the moment, with this scoreline as it is, they now have a 0.4% chance of safety. 99.6% chance of relegation for Sheffield United. And that's not a surprise. Not a surprise whatsoever. Because they have been dreadful. Dreadful this season. Let's just, by the way, while we do have a bit of brick in play and they're Arsenal just passing the ball around at the moment, let's just have a look at the live Premier League table. If I can get it up for you, I'll be able to get it up in a second here. There we are. So this is as it stands. So at this moment, this is what the Premier League table looks like. Liverpool top with 63. Manchester City 62 in second. And Arsenal currently winning this game 61. Arsenal will also be the top goal scorers in the league with 66 goals. Liverpool 64, City with 62. But Arsenal would go up, would stay in third, would be in third, but would close the gap to the top two to just 1 point to City and 2 points to Liverpool, which would mean, considering Arsenal play first next weekend, Arsenal will have the chance to go top of the Premier League table on Saturday evening when they host Brentford at the Emirates, Saturday at 5:30. So we could have a new league leader by the end of Saturday. But of course, Liverpool and City will play on Sunday, and they will match up to try and retake top spot from Arsenal if Arsenal end up taking top spot on Saturday. So it's a big week in terms of the title race. Big week for these teams. And, you know, Arsenal are firing in the goals, but they're also so strong defensively. They're the best defence in the Premier League this season, Arsenal. The least goals conceded of any side, 23. Liverpool with 25 and City with 27, so still close on that front, but Arsenal still the better side, the least amount of goals conceded this season. Saka sliding it through to Martinelli, dragged wide at Odegaard on the right. Midfield linking up nicely. Nice touch by Martinelli. Took the shot, deflected, corner. Again, they look so fluid, Arsenal. It's gorgeous to watch. I mean, even when you think that they've overplayed a pass or they look under pressure, they just pop it about so beautifully and so effortlessly. It's gorgeous to watch. They have another corner from that deflected shot from Martinelli. And now further beyond the far post. from this corner. Corner taken on the left-hand side. Havertz, Kivior and Gabriel all lurking. Very far away from the back post, but as far away as you possibly be. Literally on the corner of the 18-yard box on that far side. Just taking their time here, though. Rice to take the corner. Right-footed. Fizz to the edge of the box. Odegaard completely unmarked. Bodies spraying out. Odegaard took the shot, but into a blast of bodies as Odegaard delivers it again. Looking for Havertz. Not cleared away by Sheffield United. Saka. Saliba on the turn as Odegaard. Gives it out to White. White with a cut across. No one there in the middle. And it's hoofed away by Sheffield United, but straight back into Arsenal possession again. No white ball at the moment for Sheffield United. It's literally get it away as far as possible away from the goal as you can and hope. Hit and hope. As they've won it back fairly there. And Osborne trying to feed it down the left to try and find Ollie McBurney, but good manoeuvring by Saliba, and he does keep the possession. Well, as I said, one more goal and Arsenal and Sheffield United will break English football records tonight. Reiterate, no side has ever conceded lost by 5 or more goals at home in 3 successive games in English football, most certainly not in the Premier League era. No side has also won by 5 or more goals away from home in 3 successive games. One more goal and those 2 records will be broken for the very first time. Odegaard trying to find it blocked. But I mean, you would be a fool to say that the 5th goal won't come, because Arsenal are trying to get the 5th goal before half time, never mind before the end of the game. Odegaard, and there's still time in that front as well. 7 minutes plus additional time to go in the first half. Saka. It's about how many now, really. And it's got to that point already. Let me look at the stats. So far, Arsenal 79% possession, 13 shots on target, 13 shots, 6 on target. Here comes Saka with a cut back, and that's a nice finish by Rice. And records broken. Declan Rice, the man. And it's similar to his captain's finish, a side-footed one into the far corner. And Declan Rice on the score sheet again. Gets Arsenal's 5th. And that is the 3rd successive game that Arsenal have scored 5 goals. At least in a game for the first time in English football history. And the same, on a very more negative note, for Sheffield United. The other way around. Lovely again. I mean, weak. 1-2 link-ups again. Odegaard just rolls it to Saka. He beats his man. He doesn't even need to get anywhere near top-level pace. Just beats his man simply. Cuts it back. And Declan Rice has all the time in the world. And he takes it first time in the box. Lovely finish by Rice. And Arsenal have a 5th. And they're the 5th different goal scorer of the game. Declan Rice this time. Sheffield United 0. Arsenal 5. Goodness me. I mean, it's not a shock. Again, I keep saying it after every goal. I'm not surprised. Genuinely. I mean, I expected Arsenal to break this record tonight. I knew that they would. I just didn't expect them to break it this early. Didn't expect them to break it in the first half. But there we are. 40 minutes gone. And they lead by 5-0. It's also the biggest scoreline in a first half of a game this season in the Premier League, which is incredible. To score 5 goals in one half of football is wonderful. They do have a corner to defend, though, or a throw-in, to defend. It's a long throw. Up and one by Ben White there. The front post. Sheffield United haven't given up yet on that attacking chance. They will now because they've just side-footed it, or they've back-heeled it straight out of play. Jack Robinson there. Lovely ball by Havertz. Odegaard in the middle. Arsenal are purring, and they're not finished yet. Rice. I mean, I don't want to get to Premier League record territory just yet, but you have to think 5-0 after 40 minutes. You're averaging... Oh, just wait here, Odegaard. Oh, it's just beaten past White, but it will be a corner. Trusty there to get out of the play for the corner. But as I'm saying, they're averaging a goal now. Was it every 8 minutes? If you average that out over a game, you're conceding 11 or 12 goals. That's crazy. That's crazy. That would be a Premier League record. No one's ever hit double figures in Premier League history for goals in one single game. 9's the biggest. But we'll not get there just yet. Odegaard takes the corner short to Saka. Taking his time. Saka chops back onto his right. Onto his left now. Plays it off to Odegaard. Odegaard trying to work his way in. Back to Saka. Saka lifts it with his left. Deep to the back post. But too much on that one from Bukayo Saka. And it goes behind for a goal kick. As I was saying about the stats before I was cut off rudely by Declan Rice's goal, Arsenal have 80% possession, 15 shots, 7 on target. Compare that to Sheffield United's 20% possession, 1 shot, 0 on target. The only shot they've had was the McAtee one that went closer to the corner flag than it did to the goal. I mean, David Raya's had nothing to do tonight so far. Although he might have something to deal with here. McAtee. Right hand side up against Gabriel. Got set back. Bogle looking for the cross. Blocked off. And it will bounce out of play for a Sheffield United throw. If anything, it'll just take pressure off their defenders getting the ball up the pitch. Sheffield United. I don't think they have a realistic hope of getting a goal. But just at least to take the pressure off their defence. Although they're, again, playing dangerously around the back again. They've given it back to the defenders. They've got out of it this time. But then they give it away here in the middle. Odegaard. Saka. 90 seconds plus additional time to go in the first half. Sheffield United 0. Arsenal 5. Incredible. Saka. Probably going to have to do a match highlights video of this, although it might be about 20 minutes long. Saka, White, Odegaard, lovely again. Oh, the ball through the middle just couldn't. He squeezed through by Martin Odegaard and cut out there. But White does well to try and battle back and wins the free kick. There, Ben White. Well, of course, there was another record broken here this season. The most different goal scorers in a single game in Premier League history in that 8-0 win for Newcastle. 8 different goal scorers. So far, we've 5 different goal scorers in this game. 1 own goal and 4 different Arsenal players netting. Surprisingly, Saka isn't one of them so far. But Martinelli, Rice, Havertz and Odegaard have all netted in Arsenal colours, and Jayden Bogle with the own goal. So we do have technically 5 different scorers. So if they do continue that trend, they could also break that record, but that's still a bit away as well. But just surpassed the 45 minutes, and we will have 5 more at the end of this first half. There we are. Most times in a Premier League season where 5 or more goals have been conceded. That's another record joint now for Sheffield United. Derby and Swindon have both conceded 5 or more goals in a single season 6 times. Sheffield United have just equalled that. This is their 6th time this season they've conceded 5 or more goals in a single game. Another Premier League record matched. And we look at Sheffield United's upcoming fixtures. You would be a fool to say that maybe this will be the last time they'll concede something similar to this season. I'll actually have a look at the fixtures at half-time for you, and we'll look ahead to what is coming up for these two teams at half-time, and also kind of digest what on earth has happened in this first half. Because I don't know what you say at half-time. I mean, what do you say to your players at half-time? 5-0 down. I mean, what do you say? Like I'm baffled as to what Chris Wilder is going to go in and tell them. I mean, what can you tell them? Defend better? I mean, at this moment, it's easier said than bloody done for Sheffield United. They've added an extra body, and they've still conceded 2 more goals since they went to a back 5. Practically a back 6 at times. Ball in for Havertz. Plays it across. One-hand ball there, Arsenal. But the flag was up actually against Kai Havertz in the end, so it wouldn't have mattered. Although VAR will, of course, have a quick look at it to make sure all is... Yeah, he is offside there, Kai Havertz. Went a bit early. Bit too eager to meet the Jorginho delivery. He was offside. In the build-up, Kai Havertz. Grbic, who you would argue hasn't had much to do in terms of the fact that everything that's come at him has ended up past him, more or less. Tonight, David Raya, the complete opposite. He hasn't had anything to face. I mean, how many touches has David Raya had in this half? Oh, 12 touches. But most of them are probably in possession. Probably are. Grbic has had 14. In comparison, I mean, goalkeepers don't get many touches in games anyway, but considering how little that David Raya has had to do, the majority of his contact with the ball has been passing it out from the back, mainly in this first half. Sheffield United haven't had a shot on target yet. Barely had one shot. As Arsenal dispossessed there, they wanted the foul, but referee Sam Barrett said nothing doing, but Sheffield United trying to pass it forward, give it away. But the flag went up anyway against a Sheffield United player. And we'll average it out. Average out the goals conceded for Sheffield United at the end of this game for you, because I'm sure a big defeat would add to that. And who knows, by the end of this tonight they could be averaging 100 goals conceded over a season, which would be a remarkable record that they could also break. But Arsenal, ruthless as ever. Martinelli. Last minute of this first half, and thankful, I'm sure, will be Sheffield United for that half-time whistle. I mean, I'm sure they'll not want to come back out for the second half, to be honest, if it's going to be more of the same. That's good work in the middle there by Tom Davis. Spinning away from the marker. Ahmed Odzic firing a ball up top, looking for McBurney, but comfortably dealt with by Gabriel. Chested it down. Finds Odegaard. It should be us. There we are. The half-time whistle goes. And more boos ring around Bramall Lane. I'm surprised there's that many fans inside Bramall Lane to make booing noises that loud. But at half-time, I mean, this is another bleak first 45 minutes and one massively to forget for Sheffield United, who are breaking records galore at the moment. No side ever coming into this game had ever conceded 5 or more goals in 3 consecutive home games in English football history. Sheffield United are the first team to do that, and it's only half time. Half time at Bramall Lane. It is Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 5. Analysis on the way next.
Catch me if I fall. Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to Premier League Live, half-time at Bramall Lane. It is Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 5, and already the most goals scored by a single team this Premier League weekend by 2 clear goals, Arsenal, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sheffield United become only the third home side this weekend not to have scored. Burnley and Nottingham Forest failing to score at home this weekend. Sheffield United probably will be added to that list. Let's just break away from this game tonight and look back at the weekend we've already had. So far, Chelsea came from 2-1 down. A late Axel Disasi equaliser to secure them a point at the G-Tech. Everton actually lost in added time. Both goals from West Ham coming past the 90-minute mark to lose that game. Beto actually missed a penalty in that one for Everton as well. They had 11 shots on target but could only find the net just the once at Goodison and fell to defeat against their former manager David Moyes. Fulham, a comfortable home win against tough opposition in Brighton, but not in good form at the moment. Roberto De Zerbi's side beaten again, and beaten quite comfortably by a struggling Fulham side in recent times, with a 3-0 win for the Cottagers, and 3 points at home. Similar for the exact same for Newcastle against another side performing well at the moment, Wolves, who are in a lovely position in the top half in 10th. Newcastle leapfrogged them into that top half earlier this weekend, up to 8th Newcastle, above Brighton as well, after that their comfortable 3-0 win at home. Liverpool left it late against Nottingham Forest. They love to leave it late. 44 times now Liverpool have scored in 90-plus minute winners in Premier League history. 44 times in history, and that was added to the list. Darwin Núñez in the 99th minute. It becomes the 10th latest winning goal in Premier League history, of course. Tottenham also left it late themselves. 3 goals in the last 15 minutes against Crystal Palace to overturn a 1-goal deficit to win 3-1. So all this, actually get to the last one here. Luton 2 and Aston Villa 3. They needed a late winner to win that one away at Kenilworth Road. 89th minute winner from Luca Digne to give Villa all 3 points. So it means that as it stands, all of the top 5 in the Premier League will have tasted victory this weekend. Burnley started Sunday knowing that they needed anything out of that game against Bournemouth to try and ignite their hopes of possibly one of the best rescue plans we've ever seen in Premier League history for survival. But they dominated the game, the possession, the stats, the chances, but they just could not for the life of them find the back of the net, and they ended up being beaten by a clinical Bournemouth side, Andoni Iraola's side, winning by 2-0 at Turf Moor. All too common for Burnley this season to lose at home. And the Manchester Derby saw some excitement. Man United took an early lead through an absolute cracker from Marcus Rashford. A Phil Foden double and an Erling Haaland finisher rounded off the points for City in blue to make Manchester blue, lit up blue on Sunday evening. And at the moment it is a kind of Blue Monday, it seems, for Sheffield United, considering where they are. 5-0 down at half-time. Shocking first half for Sheffield United. And I mean, honestly, coming into this one, I said it in the first half, when I saw the team news and saw that Sheffield United were going to a back four, I genuinely asked the question, is Chris Wilder asking for mental help or something, because he needs it? Going back four against an Arsenal side that have conceded the most goals in Premier League history coming into a new calendar year, you have to be either an idiot or mentally unwell to make that decision to go to a back four. You're 3-0 down after 15 minutes and make the change to go to a back five and then continue to concede goals. So even with a 4 or a 5, they can't keep Arsenal out. So what was the difference? But 3-0 down after 15 minutes was dreadful. They didn't get any better, and it ended up Arsenal leading by 5-0 at half-time. The biggest margin of a lead at a half-time stage this season. And also the 6th time this season that Sheffield United have conceded 5 or more goals in a single game, which is a equalling record of Derby County and Swindon Town, of course. And they can beat that if they do end up losing by 5 or more goals for the rest of the season. And I wouldn't be surprised, considering the teams they still have to play. They still have to go away to Anfield, still have to go to bring Chelsea here, who are in good form. Newcastle, they've still to go to Newcastle, still to go to Goodison Park, still to play Tottenham at home. They have to go to Old Trafford as well. Not easy fixtures of any case, and I wouldn't be surprised if they concede 4 or 5 in a couple of those as well. I wouldn't be surprised, because they look awful. I don't know what they're being told in their defensive drills on the training pitch during the week, because they must be having a laugh and playing about and thinking that defending doesn't matter, because I don't see where their defensive structure is. I don't see what they work on in the week. I don't see drills. I don't see structure. I don't see what their plan is. I mean, for a side that comes up against the ball and is under the caution, out of possession for so much of a game, they look like they haven't seen a football before when they're defending out of possession. They don't look like they know what they're doing. I mean, as I said, for a side that knows coming into games like this, you're going to be under pressure, you're going to be under the cosh, you're going to be pinned back, and you're not going to have the ball for the majority of the game, to not know what you're doing and to not have a kind of identifiable structure is baffling. And for Chris Wilder not to know whether he wanted a back 4 or a back 5 coming into this one, I mean, to not have that decided basically shows that you've no foundation for trying to save yourself. I mean, it's almost impossible now, but in trying to save yourself from relegation. But the first thing you think of is being better defensively, stopping the goals going in at one end and trying to score at the other. They can't do either. They can't score, and they can't stop the ball from going in the back of their own net. I mean, it's a poison chalice. They've no idea what they're doing defensively, Sheffield United. And I don't want to target a player, any single individual player, because as a team, they're not defending. I mean, at times, one of the goals, the fourth goal for Arsenal, it's crazy to say that, but the fourth goal for Arsenal, Ollie McBurney is coming back into his own half. He's got no clear pass on. The only pass that he's got on is back to his centre-back in Ahmed Odzic, and he's being pressed by an Arsenal player. So you don't take that option. Why would you take that option, passing it back to a centre-back who's under pressure and who's going to struggle to get control of the ball because he knows he's going to be instantly on it from an Arsenal point of view? An Arsenal player is going to be right on the back of him when he receives that ball. And 9 times out of 10, he'll probably lose the possession and you'll have a counter-attack, which ends up happening. They play the ball back, they give it away, and Arsenal score. Just get rid of it. Simple as that. Just get rid of it. There's no need to pass that back. And that's only one occasion. But, the second goal annoys me as well. When they got the own goal. That annoys me as well. Defensively, I don't know what you're doing. Why have you got 4 players inside your own 6-yard box defending across from the byline? Either way, you're not going to be in the way to stop it. You're so deep that if Saka, as he did, just played it straight across, he didn't cut it back, he played it straight across, and the chance of it deflecting off one of your players is very, very high. When you have 4 players inside a tight space in a 6-yard box, you're going to have a lot to contend with in terms of there's going to be bodies there where the ball could easily come off. But at the same time, if Saka had cut it back, you were so deep, you were literally on your own goal line, that even if it had found an Arsenal player, if he'd cut it back and it found an Arsenal player, you were so deep that you were too far away to push up and to try and engage and stop the shot, even if it had been cut back. So there's no method to the madness there. They're so deep because they're terrified of conceding that they actually end up literally giving the goal to Arsenal, basically. They've just handed it on a plate to them. 2 identifiable mistakes that were easily avoided in that first half. And that's the basics of football. The basics. Do not pass it back to your centre-back when he's under pressure. Especially when you know that you're not a side that's normally in possession and that can play it from the back on normal occasions. You play long ball. Let's get it real. So it's not that you're going to normally do this even when you're not being pressed. So when you are being pressed, don't do it. And defend in your box. It's simple. It's basics. Defend in your 18-yard box. There's so much space. And even when there isn't space, they're just running around like headless chickens inside their own 18-yard box, not knowing what they're doing. Throwing their body at it, hoping that they'll get a block. There's no idea. There's no method to what they're actually doing defensively. And it's so frustrating to watch because you're like, I can't believe this. This is Chris Wilder, a Premier League manager, not one of the best, let's be real, but a manager that led Sheffield United a few seasons ago to 9th place in the Premier League. One of the best defensive performances we've seen from a team that's just been promoted in history in the Premier League. It's not that he's an idiot, but I don't understand how he can't get it into the players' heads to get into a shape and a structure. It's basics. Genuinely, I don't understand where it is coming from and what their idea is, Sheffield United. I don't even think they know themselves what the hell they're up to. I certainly don't, because I'm watching this game and I think, Arsenal having the time of their lives here. They're just playing it around like there's no one else against them. A training ground exercise would be kind of an understatement as to what is actually happening in this first half. Genuinely. Absolutely dreadful. And we've another 45 minutes of that to come. Sheffield United 5-0 down at half-time. I've rambled on that much that the second half is literally seconds away, so we'll be back for the second half in just a moment. Do stay with us.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to Premier League Live, half-time, Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 5, and changes afoot, not only for the home side, but for Arsenal as well. Maybe they can rest a few players because they know they're not going to be under pressure to drop points here tonight. I will get full confirmation of all those changes because there's 4 changes here, 3 from Sheffield United, 1 from Arsenal, and I'll get full confirmation of all of those for you in a few moments when, actually they've just up on my screen now. McAtee, McBurney and Davis all off. Baldock, Osula and Brooks all on. So a triple change there for Sheffield United at half-time, and considering they'd already made a change in that first half, we're back underway for the second half, but they'd already made a change in that first half, so that's 4 in total that they have made over the 2 periods so far. Our clock is a wee bit delayed for the moment. That's not what I expected, but a positive start for Sheffield United here in a good area. Yeah, not dealt with instantly, although Baldock here instantly involved, cuts it back, shots blocked there by Arsenal. There's a body down there for Arsenal, which they want to have a look at. Do apologise for the moment, the clock is a bit in the way, not that that'll matter, but yeah, it's just a trailing left arm from George Baldock onto the face of Gabriel Martinelli. It's no malice in it really. So just to confirm for you what has happened at half time, those substitutions. So Andre Brooks has come on for Tom Davis. William Osula has replaced Ollie McBurney as centre forward, and George Baldock has arguably probably gone into the defence for James McAtee. So a defensive change there, Baldock for McAtee for Sheffield United. Andre Brooks as well, the midfielder, replacing Tom Davis, who I think was probably one of Sheffield United's better players in that first half, Tom Davis. And Arsenal made the change as well, by the way. I mentioned Bukayo Saka coming off, replaced by Fabio Vieira. So Saka off, Vieira on. Saka won't get a goal tonight, despite Arsenal having scored 5. He wasn't amongst the goal scorers, and won't be amongst the goal scorers, as he has been taken off after 45 minutes. So 4 subs in total for Sheffield United, so they've 1 left. Arsenal 1 sub so far, 4 to go. Theoretically they can make 4, no need to make 4. And I'm sure if Arsenal will make changes, they'll probably be resting a couple of players, because there's no need to go any further pushing than they already have. Considering they have a quick turnaround next weekend, they play on Saturday at 5:30, and then have another home tie and that reverse fixture, the second leg against Porto, who come to the Emirates, and Arsenal having to overturn a 1-goal deficit from the first leg. They lost by a 1-0 at Porto. Wenderson Galeno with a last-minute winner in that one a few weeks ago. Oh, Trusty a bit nervous at the back there. Well, it's good clearance by Sheffield United, and maybe a bit of an out ball as they're on the counter-attack here. Osula blocked off, and well won back by Saliba. That's a good battle to win it back though. Brooks on the left-hand side, trying to work it into a box now. Blocked off again by Jorginho, but certainly more battle, more fight than Sheffield United there. But look at that. Lovely for Martinelli. Drags Ahmedhodzic across and beats past him. Martinelli on the left. Speeds past Ahmedhodzic again, but Ahmedhodzic stays in at least a bit of contact with him and puts it out for the corner. Just about clinging on to the Arsenal left winger to get enough to put the ball behind for a corner. Flicked the left toe at it in the end. Actually, Ahmedhodzic, by the way, haven't been watching Sheffield United enough. Haven't commentated on them since that Brighton 5-0 Brighton defeat. And after that game, Ahmedhodzic said it wasn't a red card. I mean, we're not going to get into that at the moment. He just said he didn't even think it was a yellow. I mean, it's one of the worst challenges I've ever seen from Mason Holgate. Corner in, Rice cleared away at the front post for another Arsenal throw on the left-hand side. But it was one of the worst challenges ever. I mean, he literally almost took the left knee off of Kaoru Mitoma that day. It was definitely a red card. Ahmedhodzic a bit fooled. He made a fool of himself, certainly, in that interview. He captains this side tonight, by the way. This Sheffield United side. Kivior. Again, a bit complacent from Jakub Kivior, but good pressing by Jorginho. Havertz taken down, and we'll get a free kick on the edge of the box. On the left-hand side there, Vinicius Souza, the man committing the foul. Good pressing by Jorginho. I mean, a lax ball by Jakub Kivior, straight to a Sheffield United player, and then a good press by Jorginho to win it back, and then he laid it off to Havertz, and Havertz gets the foul. So left-hand side of the 18-yard box, and a chance for a delivery in here. It'll be too narrow of an angle to go direct from the free kick to try and strike it, but there's bodies in there. Martinelli, Havertz, Kivior, Saliba in there to try and get up for the header. Ødegaard and Rice over this one. Gabriel will soon join his teammates in the box. Ødegaard will also join them, so Rice will take the set piece. I mean, it could, ideally, if Declan Rice could curl it to the back post, he could try and find a corner, but it would be difficult. We will see what way he works this one. Rice goes for the near post to try and catch at the keeper, but Grbić knew it was coming and was quick, swiftly over to make the save. Yeah. Declan Rice is trying to catch the keeper out, but keeper well versed on those types of situations and dealt with it well. Sheffield United, are coming forward there, but got a bit impatient and Arsenal won it back. Havertz trying to win the header. Doesn't win the header, but wins the second ball in the run in behind. Here comes Vieira. Vieira chips it. Martinelli couldn't get a clean connection. Sheffield United scramble it away just for the moment. Kivior. Ødegaard tried to thread it through, and Kivior on the follow-up, but it will be a free kick to Sheffield United. Foul on George Baldock there. Baldock fuming at one of his teammates there. Again, lovely idea from Kai Havertz. Was it Kai Havertz? It was. Sorry. Kai Havertz didn't win the first header. Didn't give up on it though. Knew he could win the second header, and Vieira made a lovely run in behind. Chipped it across, and Martinelli just unfortunately couldn't get a clean connection on it. Otherwise it could have been 6, but again, Arsenal applying a lot of threat, and Vieira having an impact off the bench so far. Saka, of course, probably at this moment in time, Arsenal's most valuable attacker. Out of the front three, I would say. And that's probably why he has come off at half-time. Mikel Arteta doesn't want to risk him if he doesn't need to. In a game of this kind of stature. Ødegaard. Ben White on the overlap. Down the right flank. Pressed by Gus Hamer. White does well to find it to Havertz. And lovely from Ødegaard to spin away from Asula. Ødegaard. Kivior. Now Gabriel. Out to the left-hand side to Martinelli. Comes in field. Martinelli with the ball in. Away again by Trusty. This is similar to what we've seen from Arsenal. Penning Sheffield United in. And winning the ball back time and time again. Coming back at them. Time and time again. Lovely from Ødegaard. Close control. Involved. Lovely intricate football by Arsenal. Havertz, and Ødegaard on the follow-up just couldn't control it and blasted away by Sheffield United and out for an Arsenal throw-in. Ahmedhodzic firing it away. But again, Arsenal, those cute little kind of touches to take it away from a Sheffield United challenge, that is the type of fluidity that is so lovely to watch. "35 minutes to go, plus additional time, and Arsenal haven't yet scored in this second half. 5-0. Bouncing around. Sheffield United give the ball away again. And Arsenal getting the ball to feet. Havertz. Back to Rice. Rice to Kivior. Now Martinelli. Gabriel. Oh, it's a poor pass back there from Gabriel, but he did well to rescue it. Really good work to stop Asula trying to run in behind. Odegaard. Now Vieira. White. Vieira again. Gabriel. Out to the left-hand side to Martinelli. Arsenal patient in their build-up. Knocking the ball around, not forcing the issue. Waiting for the perfect opening. Gabriel. Kivior. Lack of movement at the moment. Arsenal very rigid up front. Lovely from Odegaard though. What a gorgeous link-up. Rice links up. Rice still has it. Cleared away by Sheffield United, but Odegaard, the architect again. Arsenal begging for a bit of movement up front, and Odegaard just unlocks it again. 1-2 link up with Rice was beautiful. Just lacked the finishing touch, but again, really, really nice. Jorginho, ball over the top. Nicely controlled. Cut back to the edge. Ben White! What a finish! Lovely by Ben White. And a lovely finish into the bottom left corner. And it gets better and better for the travelling Gunners. 6-0. Equaling their biggest away record in the Premier League. West Ham United earlier, about last month. And they're level with that at the moment and wanting to better it. Ben White on the score sheet. Sheffield United 0. Arsenal 6. It's a lovely ball by Jorginho. Taken down gorgeously by Havertz. Cuts it back. And with a lovely finish, Ben White with his left boot. Left boot into the far left side netting. And wraps it round the back of the net. Lovely. For 6-0. That is lovely. And the 6th different goal scorer. Newcastle might feel that their record might not last very much longer. Although, still a bit to go on that front too. I need to look up records here, because we're getting to that stage. And I mean, I probably should have had this ready, because I was expecting this type of scoreline this evening. I mean, not saying that I had a crystal ball and was expecting this. I mean, many people were expecting this, to be honest. If we look at Arsenal's biggest away win, 7-0, Standard Liège in the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup in 1993 is their biggest away win. 7-0 is that scoreline. They could match that tonight. course, their biggest Premier League away win was, of course, the 6-0 against West Ham a few weeks ago. Before that, it was all 5-0 wins away from home. Probably Norwich was the last one back in the 90s, or the early 2000s, at the very least. But 6-0, with about 30 minutes plus additional time to go. They're averaging a goal every 10 minutes, Arsenal. Rice with a delivery in, flicked on, not into the back of the net though. Into Sheffield United possession, and they clear it for a throw-in for Sheffield United there on the left-hand side. Remember, Arsenal, by the way, they do have more firepower on the bench. Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, Leandro Trossard, Emile Smith-Rowe, and the key man, Gabriel Jesus. 5 different players they can bring from the bench. Well, they can't bring them all from the bench in this one game, but 5 options they can choose from if they want to make those changes. They can do. They are stacked with attacking quality at this moment in time, Arsenal. Lovely. Wonderful. Sheffield United records, by the way, talking about Arsenal's biggest away win. Sheffield United's biggest biggest league defeat was that 8-0 defeat against Newcastle here in September of last year in this season. But they have a chance here on attacking areas. The ball straight into the hands of David Raya from George Baldock there. Martinelli, a bit unhappy with something here. He's just on the floor for the moment, so maybe could force Mikel Arteta into making another change. Who knows? Maybe just as precaution. We'll see. He's getting physical treatment at the moment, and we will see what will happen there. There's quite a lot to talk through in terms of the 6 goals. Odegaard with the first, Jadon Bogle scoring an own goal for the second, the third from Martinelli, the fourth Kai Havertz. Rice made it 5 before half-time, and in this second half, Ben White adding to the tally and getting a 6th for the Gunners. Stern look in the face of Chris Wilder. I mean, what else would he be doing? Looking sternly on. But remember, this will be his biggest defeat as Sheffield United manager. Oh, that's not good. Martinelli is hobbling off here. He can't actually put weight on his right leg or his right foot, which is a worry. And Martinelli doesn't look in a good way at the moment, hobbling off with the help of the 2 physios. So they'll make another change here, Arsenal, and that'll be Martinelli's night done. Already on the score sheet. Sheffield United are going to make another change. Anel Ahmedhodzic, their captain, is being taken off. This will be their last change of the game, Sheffield United, and the youngster Oliver Arblaster is coming on. 19 years of age, born in May 2004. It's crazy. He's older than me. Or he's just a month older than me. That's scary. Crazy. Arsenal are going to make a couple of changes themselves for this moment. Let's run you through them. So, Gabriel Jesus is coming on. He's going to replace Martinelli. Thomas Partey back on the bench, and we will back to action for Arsenal after that big injury. He's coming on for Jorginho in midfield, and he gets applause from the travelling Gunners in that away stand, that away section of Bramall Lane. So Partey on for Jorginho, and the third substitution for the moment coming on will be Cedric. And the latest goal scorer for Arsenal, Ben White, is going to make way for him. So Ben White off, Cedric Suarez on, Thomas Partey on for Jorginho, and Gabriel Jesus has come on in replacement of the injured Gabriel Martinelli, who, by the way, I just saw there, has gone straight down the tunnel. So, not looking good for him. But it's looking very different for Arsenal. Massively positive at this moment in time. Incredible. 25 minutes to go. And they lead by 6 goals to 0. As I said, they have more of a chance now, Arsenal, for getting different goal scorers, because they have made a good couple of changes now. 4 changes in total. He's taken off 2 of their front 3, swapped them about. Gabriel. Saliba. Thomas Partey. Oh, his first real big touch. Gives the ball away, Thomas Partey there, straight to a Sheffield United player. Bogle. Breaking forward, but great as ever. Declan Rice back. And resolute in his defensive duties to win the ball back. Arsenal sent it long there, though, surprisingly. Sheffield United have the ball back. Bogle. Robinson. Nice football there from Sheffield United. Osborne. Back to Trusty. Across to Baldock. Robinson. Trusty. And it's actually the Sheffield United fans that are shouting the Olays, as probably their best passage of play so far, but they were playing around the back and then they give it away. Straight out of play. So those Olays come to a very quick end. I mean, you have to entertain yourself one way or another, surely. If you've made the commitment, you're going to stay till the end. And fair play. A decent number of Sheffield United fans have stayed to this point so far. They have to entertain themselves somehow, because their side could be onto their more records being broken here tonight, because there's a lot of time for that to happen. Rice, ball over the top, taken down by Vieira on the right hand side, but Vieira went too quick. Offside flag up against the Arsenal right winger there. The thing is now, these changes could be kind of breaking the rhythm of Arsenal. Ooh, just seeing the replay of what possibly could have led to that Martinelli issue. A slight collision on the edge of the box, but one of those ones where he was going for the ball and his actual foot get sandwiched in between the ball and the Sheffield United player. Some force in that one, but nonetheless, that was an issue for him. We have more games coming up for you. The fight for the title is our what we're calling this run-in for these top 3. Every game that we cover that they're involved in will be under the title of Fight for the Title, under that big kind of punchline, if that's the right way of saying it. But we will have 2 more big games on next Sunday for you. One in the race for Champions League. Villa and Spurs play at 1 o'clock next Sunday. This Sunday at Villa Park, before we head to Anfield for the top 2. The meeting of the top 2. Liverpool in first, City in second, and probably the last meeting between Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola in the Premier League ever. It will be the last meeting between these 2 managers in the Premier League. So certainly not one you want to miss. Sunday at 3:45 kickoff on Sunday from Anfield. Rice. Back to Partey. Plays it across. Nice touch. Odegaard trying to spin away. Couldn't spin away. And Sheffield United break away. And lost it quick. Arsenal win it back quick. Vieira trying to rescue the ball there. The ball run out of play at the byline for a goal kick. 20 minutes to go. Sheffield United 0. Arsenal 6. Stats update for you. Into the last 20 minutes, Arsenal have consistently kept the possession at 80%. They've had 20 shots, 9 on target, 2.16 XG. Crazy. Based on the chances they've created in this game, they should have at least 2 goals, according to the XG, expected goals ratio. Sheffield United stats, 20% possession, 2 shots, 0 on target, an XG of 0.13. Arsenal have also had 5 corners to Sheffield United 0. And Arsenal, by the way, have also hit the woodwork in this one as well. Saka hit the woodwork early in the game. But we do have some big stats. I mean, looking at this one for Sheffield United, I struggle to wonder what their plan coming into this one was. Because at this moment in time, it looks shockingly bleak. And with 11 games to go, they look even worse than what they did in the season where they last got relegated from the Premier League in 2020-21 season. They conceded only 63 goals that season in 38 games. Compare that to this game, is their 27th, so 11 to go, and they've conceded now 9 more goals than that whole season combined, and they still have 11 more games to go in this season. Gabriel. Saliba. Odegaard. Havertz. Back to Cedric. Saliba. Now Odegaard again. Through the lines, looking for Jesus. Flag stays down for the moment. Jesus taken down, but the flag goes up against Gabriel Jesus. Jack Robinson sparing no words, guldering at the assistant on that right hand side, because Jesus was clearly offside. Really, wasn't huge margins, but was enough to spot an offside. And Arsenal going to make their 5th and final substitution, and it's going to be Leandro Trossard. It's going to come on, and he's going to replace Declan Rice, another huge figure for Arsenal this season. He's been incredible. One of the best signings we've seen in recent years in the Premier League. The impact he has made defensively for Arsenal has been second to none. Absolutely wonderful since he's come in, Declan Rice in that midfield. Gets a few goals himself. Declan Rice. Gribbets to go long for Sheffield United. Partey wins it first. Trying to play it a bit too quickly there, Arsenal, and lost possession. And the ball all the way back to Raya. Plays it out. Throws it out. Havertz finds Trossard just on the pitch. Maybe trying to add to the big Arsenal tally of goals. Get on the score sheet himself, Leandro Trossard. Saliba. Partey. William Saliba. To Cedric. Tighter movements again from Arsenal. Jesus. Across to Kivior. Now Trossard on the left. Very wide. Partey back to Kivior. Down the line to Trossard, but that's intercepted by Bogle. Again, a bit complacent there in their passing. And Jakub Kivior a couple of times has just made some lackluster passes. Straight to Sheffield United players. Just a bit too complacent at times. It's not probably the only criticism you could give Arsenal. One or two misplaced passes, but other than that, they've been picture perfect. 15 minutes to go at Bramall Lane. Plus any additional time as well, and Arsenal 6-0 up. For the second time this season in the Premier League. Scored 6 now for the third time this campaign in all competitions. Beat Lens by 6-0 at the Emirates. Beat West Ham by 6-0 at the London Stadium. And are now 6-0 up against Sheffield United with time to spare. Actually scored that 6th goal a long time ago now. It was a good 17 minutes ago, that goal. Here's Partey. Saliba. Through the lines, lovely ball. Here's Jesus. Looking for the cut back. The flag stayed down. And they win a corner, Arsenal. Lovely threaded ball. That was beautiful. Saliba spotted the run in behind from Jesus. Measured it perfectly onto his foot. And he just doesn't take it in enough time. Too narrow of an angle. Tries to cut it back, and Sheffield United get a block on and put it behind for the corner. On the right hand side. Interestingly enough, Arsenal haven't scored a set piece goal tonight. 19 set piece goals this season. They've scored 6 tonight, and they haven't scored one of them from set pieces, which is fascinating. Here's Vieira to take the corner. Right hand side. Left footed. Oh, you'll have to retake it there, because the referee blew his whistle before the ball had been hit. He's just sorting a few things out in the middle before he wanted Vieira to take that corner. Now he's dealt with it. Vieira will have another chance at a delivery, because when I seen the delivery there, it wasn't one of his best, Fabio Vieira. But he will have another chance at it. Right hand side. Corner for Vieira. Will be a left-footed in swinger. Lifts it, still a bit low. It's cleared away at the front post, but Vieira will get back to win it on the right-hand side. Ødegaard lifts it in with his left. Up and wins, but Kivior headed it wide. Got the header all wrong there, Jakub Kivior. Playing as a centre-forward there, Jakub Kivior. When he headed it well wide. The left back. Sheffield United now in a goal difference of -50. By the way, scored 22 goals, conceded 72. So conceded 50 more goals than they've scored. That's how it works. That's how goal difference works. Oh, Raya. Oh, goodness. A bit nervy. Goodness me. Ah, that's fantastic. Playing out from the back. Although it looks panicky at times, but it looked crisp from Arsenal. They looked so composed. Again, really nice to watch. And when it works, when you play it from the back and it works, it's really nice to watch, but sometimes it can come crashing down as quick as anything, and Arsenal made it look scintillating there. No worries about that from their point of view about playing out from the back. Ball over the top from Partey, but too much for Jesus to gather. Arsenal back in possession. And again, at the moment, just managing this game out. So records maybe just not on the horizon now as the clock is ticking down. We get ourselves so excited. We get ourselves so excited about these types of things at times. Sometimes prematurely so. Havertz. Back to Gabriel. Across to Saliba. Gabriel. Trossard. Ooh, again a bit overplaying there from Arsenal. They've given it away. And Asula all on his own. Has another shot, but it's similar to one of Sheffield United's only other shots. So far away, it almost hit someone in row Z in the stand behind the goal. Shocking. Shocking indeed. I mean, that is terrible. Ball back in play, and they're already playing with it again. Sheffield United, they have it in a good area. Baldock going for the cross. Away by Gabriel. And now Jesus spins away from his man, and he's in himself. Could have played it through. Cuts it back. Havertz takes over. Kai Havertz. Back to Jesus. Jesus. Oh, look at the curl one. And Gribbets does well to make the save. Lovely. It will be a corner though to Arsenal. That was lovely between Havertz and Jesus there. It was well choreographed. Jesus spins away from his man. Odegaard busting a gut to down the right hand side, but Jesus takes it himself, spins away from his marker, runs off the ball. Havertz just picks it up, takes the ball in his stride. Jesus drifts off to the left, he plays it to him, and Jesus just tries to cut in and curl the ball into the far corner. But a good save by Gribbets. Ended up going out for the corner to Arsenal, but very close to number 7. Very close to their biggest Premier League away win. Very close to their equaling their biggest away win in history. Sheffield United more defending to do, as Arsenal have another corner. Vieira over to take the corner again. Whistle goes. Vieira ready to take it. Left-footed delivery. Bit more height in this one, but met the head of Kivior and headed away by Sheffield United. As Osborne has it back. Goes long. Does actually make the pass. Nice play. Better from Sheffield United there. That was a nice cut in. Good touch by Robinson. Now ball out to the right hand side is Bogle. Sheffield United coming forward. Look a bit more compact now, and the shot from Bogle is well wide. I mean, do they know they have to hit it on target? That's another awful shot. What's he doing? Shooting with his right foot from that position. Going across goal. Bizarre. Bizarre, indeed. Another shot gone well wide from Sheffield United on the counter. Saliba. Arsenal passing it around again. Gabriel. Back to Raya. Oh, he'd come a bit far there, Raya, but he did recover it. Gabriel. A bit panicky there, but he kept the ball, Arsenal. Oh, lovely touch by Odegaard first time. Pulled back there, and the referee took a second and gave the free kick to the Gunners captain. Gabriel. Odegaard. 5 minutes to go, plus additional time. Havertz to Vieira. Back to Cedric. Saliba. Across to Kivior. Gabriel. Saliba. Vieira. Nice in between the lines. Cedric to Vieira. Back to Saliba. Waiting for that opening again, Arsenal. Cedric goes for the early cross in. Run was made by Jesus, but Grbić got there first. Well, what's next for these two teams? Well, Sheffield United back in action on Saturday. Both of these teams back in action on Saturday. Sheffield United at 3 o'clock. They have to travel down south to the south coast to face Bournemouth at the Vitality. And that will be a long break before their game after that, where they're back here on Easter Saturday on the 30th, so 26 days from now. Their game after that. Oh, there's a nice ball in behind here. Jesus in the box, looking to chink his way round. Does find it to Vieira. Kivior. Trossard. Ball into the box. Bounced up into the air, not cleared away from danger. Is it the third time of asking? Touched beautifully, and Cedric does well to beat past Brooks and put the early cross in. Headed up by Trusty, brought down by Partey. The edge of the box. Havertz trying to work an angle. Finds Partey. Spreads it out. Nicely taken down in the box. Chop back. Lovely. Jesus cannot. But he took too many touches and he was in an offside position anyway. Jesus. As I was saying, Sheffield United trip to Bournemouth on the 9th. That is on Saturday. And then they have a good break. A 3-week break between then. They have Fulham at home on the 30th. Then they have a trip to Anfield on the 4th of April. So that's what their next three. Arsenal, next up for them, they have a home game against Brentford Saturday at 5:30. They're back in Champions League action next midweek. Next Tuesday, they're in action at the Emirates, at home to Porto in that second leg of the round of 16. And they have a long break as well. They have a good 19-day break, so almost 3 weeks, just short of 3 weeks, before they play Manchester City on Easter Sunday at the Etihad. Because they're neither of these two teams are in FA Cup action, they have that break. But the teams they would have been playing on the 16th are in FA Cup action, which means that their games have been postponed. That's why they have such a big long break. Well, there we are. Goals after 27 games, the most in Premier League seasons. Arsenal with 68 is the most. Since 2004-05, where there were 63 goals scored after 27 games for one team. Arsenal have 68. Of course, all three teams in the Premier League, the top three, are in and around that record, in and around that stat. Liverpool was 64, City was 62 goals scored after 27 games, so all three teams love to find the back of the net. And it is about time that I do that calculation as to where on average Chris Wilder's side, Sheffield United, will end up, how many goals they'll end up conceding by the end of the season. The average is 101. So they've conceded 72 goals now after 27 games. They continue on the average of conceding 2.6 goals per game on average over the season. They will concede 101 goals by the end of the season. They will hit 100, which no team ever in history of the Premier League has ever done, either at 38 games or 42 games. Ever. Arsenal, 68 goals scored. If they continue at the rate that they are, they will score 95 goals, which won't be a Premier League record because Manchester City have scored over 100 goals in a single season. We will have 5 more minutes at the end of this half. We had 5 at the end of the first half. We'll have 5 at the end of the second half of this game. That's another foul. Jesus, the man, fouled this time, and Baldock, the man committing the foul. And the home fans, very little of them left. The away fans in full voice, as expected, with their club in the position that they are at this moment in time. Although they've given it away again a couple of times, we've just seen Arsenal kind of a bit bored themselves. Just too complacent at times in possession. That happens when you have so much dominance, so much control in a game, that 1 or 2 passes are likely to go astray. Arsenal back with the most wins this season. This will be their 19th win of the season, joining Liverpool and Man City on that front so far. They do continue to have the best defence in the league in terms of amount of goals conceded. Only 23 goals conceded in 27 games. But so far this calendar year, they're averaging less than a goal every 2 games conceded. Now, if they keep a clean sheet here, they will have conceded just 3 goals in their 7 Premier League games this calendar year in 2024. And it doesn't look like they are going to falter this clean sheet later on. They already have the most clean sheets in the league this season with 10. This will be their 11th. Closing on that was Liverpool on 9. After their win, their clean sheet yesterday against Nottingham Forest, they moved up to 9. But Arsenal will move up to 11. And it gets to this point now where we have to submit a candidate for player of the match. Goodness me, there's so many candidates for Arsenal tonight. But I have to say, one man above all who's been incredible, and always is incredible for Arsenal, is their captain, Martin Odegaard. Absolutely sensational again. I mean, 110 touches, 91% passing accuracy. 4 key passes in the game. Got a goal himself, opened the scoring tonight. But he's been that kind of conductor again, running the game, ruling the roost in the Arsenal midfield again. He's absolutely poetic. He's been incredible for Arsenal as he continues to be game in, game out. At the moment, the most perfect captain. Nicely taken down by Trossard, and Partey running behind, but Gribic on to that one. Last 2 minutes here, and Arsenal doesn't look like they will beat that record tonight of getting a 7th goal. But 6 will do. 6 will do. And it'll be as I said, equaling that record of their biggest away win in the Premier League, which they got against West Ham a few weeks ago. 6 different scorers tonight as well for Arsenal. 5 in Arsenal colours and 1 own goal. Odegaard scoring the first, Bogle with the second for an own goal, Martinelli with the third, Havertz added a 4th, and just before half time Rice got the 5th. And the only goal of the second half so far, Ben White getting a 6th for the Gunners. Last couple of seconds of the game at Bramall Lane, and another massive defeat for Sheffield United indeed. Another big win for Arsenal. They've been all too common since the turn of the year. It will be the 4th time they've scored 5 or more goals in 2024. 5 against Palace, 6 against West Ham, 5 against Burnley, and 6 against Sheffield United. To boot, they've also scored 2 against Forest, 3 against Liverpool, and 4 against Newcastle. So they love to score goals, Arsenal, and they're doing that in abundance at the minute, and they look unstoppable as it stands. Arsenal keeping the chase to the top 2, and will have a chance on Saturday night if they beat Brentford to go top of the Premier League table, at least for about 24 hours before Liverpool and Man City play on Sunday. Martin Odegaard leading the charge for Arsenal, the captain opening the scoring for the Gunners tonight, and they open the floodgates that Sheffield United are so used to at home this season. It wasn't quite 8-0, but it's another humiliating home defeat for Sheffield United, who as it stands are on course to break Premier League records in terms of amount of goals conceded in a single season. And they're all but down at this moment with 11 games to go. Their season will just dribble out as depressingly as it has continued all season. 27 games, 72 goals conceded. They're averaging over a season, could be over 100 goals conceded. Arsenal, on the other hand, well, they're showing their credentials for title winning form. Incredible this calendar year so far. Mikel Arteta is working magic with those players, and those players are delivering time and time and time again. And if they do go and win this league, this run will certainly be pinpointed as to massive in how they have turned their fortunes to, at the end of 2023, just about staying in it to the start of 2024, kick-starting the run-in in fine fashion and in ruthless goal-scoring form. 6 goals tonight, 5 different Arsenal players scoring. They look unstoppable at the moment, the Gunners. And they only sit 3rd in the Premier League table. A chance to go top at the weekend. But tonight, a perfect night in the Midlands for the Gunners. Final score from Bramall Lane. Bottom of the league, Sheffield United 0. 3rd placed Arsenal 6.